So plenty of entertaining programs and terrific boxing action upcoming right here on Showtime. We hope you can join us. Coming up next, a main event that has the makings of a thrilling affair. This hot rivalry finally resumes in the ring between Tszyu and Sharmba Mitchell. For more on their first fight, to Al Bernstein. Al?
Well, thank you, Steve. You know, it's been a long and winding road to get to tonight's Tszyu-Sharmba Mitchell rematch. Injuries, delays, site changes. But the reason so many have been resolute in making it happen is because 3.5 years ago, these boxers gave us evidence that they can collectively make a great match. And they more than piqued our curiosity about who is ultimately better. On February of 2001, Tszyu and Sharmba Mitchell appeared focused for their highly anticipated unification bout. However, only moments before entering the ring, Mitchell had complained of aggravating an old knee injury, putting this fight in jeopardy. But from the opening bell, it didn't seem to hamper his attack.
Pretty good combination to the head by Sharmba Mitchell. Mitchell scoring and the crowd going wild. All the press row people have Mitchell ahead.
For the first 2 rounds, the slick and speedy Mitchell impressed the judges and frustrated the slower but stronger Tszyu.
Mitchell coming forward. Uppercut by Tszyu on the inside. Oh, Mitchell goes down. It's a slip. And some real roughhouse tactics there by Tszyu. There's a good left hand by Mitchell. Right on the head, just before the bell. As Mitchell limps back to his corner, you can see the scar. He's basically working on one leg.
It's a matter of debate whether Mitchell's knee began to deteriorate or Tszyu figured out his opponent. Nevertheless, Tszyu dominated the 6th and 7th rounds.
Big left hook by Tszyu.
A quick right by Tszyu to the head. This is an alley fight.
Both of them walking the punches, Steve.
Wild exchange, and the roughhouse stuff continues. Oh, a takedown by Tszyu, no knockdown, and he went down with a thud. He's hurt, Mitchell's hurt, as he's hobbling around on his left knee.
I can't hardly move, bro.
You want to go out this way? It's up to you.
Are they going to stop it? Yeah, they stopped it because of the injured left knee, and Tszyu celebrates.
Well, I just told my corner that I wasn't really feeling my leg, but I didn't want to stop, and they wanted to stop it. But I never wanted to stop, man. I told the doctor that I didn't want to stop, and the doctor just said, you know, Sharmba, it'll be another day.
He come to the ring, no excuse. No excuse, you have to fight or die, wherever it's happened.
So a first fight in which both men were able to get some things done during portions of that fight, and that's one of the reasons why this makes such an interesting rematch, Steve, because we could see glimpses of what could have been a terrific match.
All right, Al, without question, a fight that went into the books as a 7th round TKO for Tszyu, but for all who actually saw it, a fight that ended inconclusively. It took more than 3.5 years, but the rematch is finally here. Coming up next from the Glendale Arena, just outside Phoenix, Arizona, the hotly anticipated second go-round between Tszyu and Sharmba Mitchell with the IBF 140-pound title on the line. Sharmba Mitchell has been waiting almost 4 years for this night after his disappointing loss to Tszyu in February 2001. Mitchell could have sulked. Instead, he kept active, fighting often, and against top-level opposition. In fact, it can be argued that at the age of 34, the southpaw has never been sharper. While he's counting on Tszyu being 100%, Mitchell's activity and Tszyu's inactivity could turn out to be the key factors in this fight. Despite his inactivity, Tszyu remains the king of the talent-laden junior welterweight division. But while Tszyu has been on the shelf due to a pair of major injuries, fighters like Mitchell, Arturo Gatti, Floyd Mayweather, Miguel Cotto, and Vivian Harris have been busy. Maybe tonight's the night Tszyu finally steps down from the throne. And joining me at ringside right now is our Jim Gray. You had an opportunity to visit with both Tszyu and Sharmba Mitchell at the training camps, Jim, so take it away.
Steve, in preparation for this fight with Tszyu, Mitchell was forced to elude the hurricanes of Florida and relocate his training camp to Los Angeles. He is clearly a man on a mission, having fought 8 times since their first meeting, with the single purpose of getting tonight's rematch. That intensity was apparent when I spoke to him at his training camp.
Come on, Tszyu. You want to make some real money? You want to be a real champion?
You want to fight somebody with 2 legs now? Let's fight.
Why, in your mind, do you feel he owes you?
Well, I put my belt on the line. I went in there with a hurt leg and gave him a fight that he probably hasn't forgotten.
And do you regret that? Because just moments before the fight, you almost didn't come out of the dressing room.
Right, I almost didn't, but I don't regret it. People seeing that, you know, God, he was in that fight and, you know, I had him winning. And he had a hurt leg. I think in the 7th round, I got thrown down and whole leg just, I couldn't feel anything. But I ended the round. When I came back, my cornerman asked me, what's wrong? I said, I can't feel anything. I can't feel anything. And he was like, well, I'm not letting you go back out there.
It's on you how you want to go.
It's so numb down here, Joe. I'm trying to move around. I can't really move around.
You kind of were non-responsive when your corner said they were going to stop the fight. You just kind of sat there and took it. Why?
They wouldn't let me. The doctor was going to stop it also. So it was nothing I could do. It's like, you know, out of my hands then.
Did you in your heart think that you were winning that fight?
I thought I was winning the fight.
So it doesn't matter what other people tell you?
It doesn't matter what other people tell me. I thought I was winning the fight at the time.
Are you being honest with yourself?
Yeah, I mean, I'm so close. I was so close. And
so Sharmba, in your mind, it was all just your leg, just the injury?
Yeah, just the injury.
3 judges saw it otherwise.
Yeah.
How do you explain that?
I thought I was a hit. So it doesn't matter what, you know, what anybody says. Here we are right here and right now, and this is what's going to matter.
Do you regret that you didn't fight the decision and that you didn't push harder to continue?
No, I don't regret it. Because maybe I wouldn't be sitting here now. You know, maybe I wouldn't be getting a rematch or anything. Maybe I would have went back out there and injured my knee even more.
How's your knee?
It's repaired. Everybody wants to say it's at 100%. It's 100% at birth. That's it. After it's injured, it's 75%.
Are you building in an excuse?
Oh, no. Come on.
You've gone on with your career. You've been very successful since that evening. But you need, to a certain degree, Tszyu, otherwise you feel invalid.
I feel as though that I need to fill that void in my life. I need to fill that space. I think he needs me also, so we need each other.
Now Sharmba Mitchell needs a win here tonight, not only to fill the void that he just spoke of, but to be recognized as the best 140-pounder in the world. Now Tszyu, on the other hand, feels that there is no question as to who reigns supreme in the junior welterweight division. In Tszyu's eyes, tonight's rematch is not to settle any old score or to end any lingering questions from their initial encounter, but rather to fight the best possible opponent. I spoke to Tszyu a bit earlier about his return to the ring for the first time in 22 months. What's it like for you not to have fought for almost 2 years?
Missed a lot. And what I did find out is not only I'm missing the sport missing me.
What do you recall, Kostya, about your fight with Sharmba Mitchell 4 years ago?
It was close first 4 rounds. It was close. I'm not saying it wasn't a close fight. But from that time forwards, I'm stronger, stronger, and stronger.
And Tszyu just doesn't let up. Relentless pursuit.
Do you think he could have continued?
This was proper injury, I do believe. I mean, he hurt himself. But the way he talked, he said that he's not quitted. He's gonna help him. But he forgot one thing, that you got cameras around him.
What do you want to do, champ?
I'm gonna stop it. I'm gonna stop it.
It's on you how you want to go.
What are you saying?
I'm gonna stop it. I can't fucking move. I'm gonna stop it. It's so numb down here, Joe. I'm trying to move around. I can't really move around.
You're okay?
Why haven't you fought Sharmba, aside from your injuries, and let so much time go by?
First of all, I'm saying to myself, why should I? The way he conduct himself after the fight, the way he's disrespect me, I don't like this. Why give him the rematch in the end? Because he proved that he's #1 contender.
And when it's been written that maybe you were trying to duck Sharmba Mitchell, or maybe you didn't want to fight again, what was your reaction?
I'm saying I don't care, really. I know who I am. My real fans know me.
Did it bother you this was being said, though?
No, not at all. Doesn't bother me at all.
How would you describe the shape of your shoulder now?
don't bother me. I don't have any signs of injury at all. Look like I forgot completely about the injury. And the way it developed muscle, you cannot tell that I had the injury.
You are the one person, Kostya, who can make Sharmba Mitchell's career. In other words, he needs you to validate his career. Do you feel it all the same way in return about him?
He proved that he's #1 contender, and he's got interim championships. It's mean if I won't fight for this particular time, I can lose my title. It's a matter of principle. I have to fight him.
Now, Steve, there are two things that are very apparent to me having spent time with these two guys. First of all, Sharmba Mitchell and the way he went about this has gotten underneath the skin of Kostya Tszyu, and Tszyu does not appreciate it at all. And second of all, this fight is much, much more important to Sharmba Mitchell than it is to Kostya Tszyu. This validates him. To Tszyu, it's just another fight.
And another note, some people feel that Tszyu may have made a mistake by not taking a tune-up. I asked him about that, and he simply said it just wasn't meant to be. He just wants this fight. That's all that's on his mind. As we turn back over to Al Bernstein. And Al, the first fight certainly had plenty of action, drama, and roughhouse tactics. Are you expecting more of the same in the sequel?
Yeah, you know, rematches are always very, very tricky to analyze because they seldom produce the same results as the original, even if the same man wins. That's especially true in this match because we've had a long period of time since the first fight, and because of the injury and layoff issues facing Tszyu. But when you strip it down to the basics, we have two men who like to think of themselves as boxer punchers, but one is certainly more of a boxer, the other is more of a puncher. Sharmba Mitchell is the boxer in this equation, and lateral movement is essential, and he has to be ready to do it for 12 rounds to win this fight. Tszyu was very physical in that first match. Mitchell has to avoid roughhousing inside. One punch at a time won't do it for Sharmba. He needs combinations, and even though this jab fell short in their first match, it did set up a good Mitchell left hand. And without the jab, this left hand might not have landed. So 2 punches better than 1 tonight for Sharmba. Kostya Tszyu often loses early rounds, but he has great patience, dogged determination, and he'll need both tonight. The rougher the better on the inside for Tszyu. And landing the right hand helped him beat another crafty southpaw, Zab Judah. In his first fight with Mitchell, Tszyu avoided this Mitchell left hand and then countered expertly with his own right. He hopes for more of this tonight.
So here in Arizona, a most curious locale for this event, the fight the boxing community has been waiting for at 140 pounds. Will Tszyu Mitchell 2 be worth the wait? Set for the ring walks to ring announcer Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time has come for the long-awaited rematch for the Junior Welterweight Championship of the World. Prepare to welcome the boxers as they make their way to the ring. First, ladies and gentlemen, introducing the challenger, here comes Sharmba Mitchell.
extremely anxious. Sharmba Mitchell calling this a do-or-die situation. Entirely understandable that he'd once totally given up on this fight. Now, almost amazingly, after the 2 postponements, just moments away from the defining fight of his career.
Every night for the last 3.5 years, I dare say he's thought about this moment, Steve. He won't say it's his career-defining fight for sure, but you got to know he feels it.
Since that first fight with Tszyu, Mitchell said he's had only one thing on his mind: a rematch with Kostya Tszyu. Back up to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
And now making his way to the ring, ladies and gentlemen, accompanied by top Russian pop star vocalist Larissa Dolina. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the champion, Kostya Tszyu.
Let's go, guys. We're done. We're tired.
Seriously contemplating retirement, Kostya Tszyu is ready to finish what he started some 3.5 years ago. Checking the ropes in a very large ring, 22 by 22, which, Al, should favor Mitchell, yes?
Mitchell is the boxer, and you would think this ring would be beneficial, and really, it was Tszyu's people that put this promotion together. They may rue the day they allowed this ring to be large.
Kostya Tszyu making the trip all the way from Australia to Glendale, Arizona to fight American Sharmba Mitchell. The Australian flag supporting Kostya Tszyu, originally, of course, from the former Soviet Union. Let's size them up right now. As we check out the numbers, we go to the tail of the tape. Tszyu, of course, was in his prime the first time he fought Mitchell. He's now 35, Mitchell 34. The height all even, and a 5-inch reach advantage for Sharmba Mitchell. Yesterday's weigh-in, both came in right on the money at the 140 limit. And a check of the notable unified rules for this World Championship fight. There's no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. If an accidental headbutt occurs before the end of the 4th round, the fight's ruled a no decision. If it happens after the end of round 4, they go to the scorecards. So here at the Glendale Arena in Glendale, Arizona, getting ready for our main event, Kostya Tszyu versus Sharmba Mitchell. The rematch with the IBF 140-pound belt on the line. The official introductions from our ring announcer, the classy Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the Glendale Arena here in Glendale, Arizona for the featured bout of the evening, brought to you by Vlad Wharton's Millennium Events in association with Gary Shaw Productions, Ring Pros, Nemiroff, and Showtime. This bout coming away is sanctioned by the IBF President Marion Muhammad, Supervisor Aaron Kaiser, along with the Arizona State Boxing Commission. The chairwoman is Mary Rose Wilcox, commissioners Richard Saunders and Lionel Ruiz, and the executive director John Montano. Our physicians at ringside, Dr. Robin McDougall and Dr. Charles Howard. Timekeeper at the bell, Martin Dominguez. Keeping count of the knockdowns, Bill Buck. Introducing to you our three judges scoring this bout from ringside. From Washington, D.C., Paul Artiste. From Phoenix, Arizona, Howard Ritchie. And from Lennox Head, New South Wales in Australia, John Wright. Now presenting our referee in charge of the action, working in this, his 77th world title bout, Raul Kais Sr. All right, fans, here we go with our main event of the evening. 12 rounds of boxing for the IBF Junior Welterweight Championship of the World. And now, ladies and gentlemen in attendance and boxing fans joining us around the world, live from Glendale, Arizona, it's showtime! Introducing to you first the challenger on my left. He is fighting out of the blue corner, entering the ring wearing black and gold trunks, fighting out of our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., by way of Tacoma Park, Maryland. He weighed in at the junior welterweight limit of 140 pounds even. His record stands at 55 wins, 3 losses, with 31 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the former WBA super lightweight world champion and the current interim IBF junior welterweight champion of the world, known as the Little Big Man, introducing Sharmba Mitchell. Across the ring, the defending world champion on my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing black trunks, fighting out of and representing Sydney, Australia, by way of Serov, Russia. He weighed in the same as his opponent, 140 pounds even. His record stands at 30 wins, only 1 defeat, 1 no decision, with 24 wins coming by way of knockout. Ladies and gentlemen, here is the former undisputed world champion at 140 pounds, the current WBC super lightweight champion emeritus, and the defending IBF junior welterweight champion of the world. Please welcome the Thunder from Down Under, introducing Kostya. Once again, our referee in charge, Raul Kais, now to give instructions. 12 rounds of championship boxing scheduled.
Let's go. Let's go. Sharmba, let's go.
All right, gentlemen, I give you instructions downstairs. Remember, obey my commands at all times, and above all, protect yourselves at all times. Right here is fine. Keep your punches up. Good luck to both of you. Remember, here's fine. Let's go.
This fight for more than just Tszyu's belt. It is for supremacy in boxing's best division, arguably. No matter the circumstances, the always supremely confident Tszyu, a very strategic fighter who prepares meticulously for each opponent. He's had almost 2 years to think about what he's going to do tonight against Sharmba Mitchell. Mitchell, meanwhile, single-minded in purpose. He has done nothing but get ready for this moment by staying extremely busy. The biggest difference for Mitchell entering this fight with Tszyu as opposed to the first one, he now has 2 good wheels. He'll have to use those wheels plus a lot of head movement to avoid Tszyu's power, inactivity or not.
And early in this fight, Tszyu is often a slow starter. In fact, Hugo Pineda, another lefty, had him down in the first round when they fought. Judah controlled him early. So these early rounds are ones that Mitchell would like to get off to a good start in.
Can Tszyu do what Felix Trinidad did recently and look even better than he did previous to his comeback? Well, there were no knockdowns in the first fight, but several takedowns and throwdowns, a very rough and tumble affair that at times resembled an alley fight. A key factor here tonight could be the referee.
Yeah, Raul Kaiz Sr. and Gary Shaw, the promoter for Sharmba Mitchell, said he was going to remind Kaiz several times in the dressing room and then when they got back out here in the arena about the fact that he has to watch Tszyu roughhousing with Mitchell. So he wants that firmly implanted in his mind.
More than once in the original affair, Tszyu brought Mitchell down hard to the canvas, claiming he was being held and just trying to break loose. Mitchell differs, but also said he didn't blame Tszyu. If the circumstances were reversed, said Sharmba, he said he'd do the same thing, but he doubts it will happen again.
Both men working on the inside. Sharmba trying to kind of hold him so Tszyu can't work.
Don't push his head now.
You know, the left shoulder of Tszyu, which was repaired by surgery, good left hand by Mitchell. We've seen Tszyu use that left hook already 3 or 4 times, so clearly he may be telling us the truth when he said that shoulder's not bothering him.
So the first effective punch thrown by Mitchell. Here in the rematch.
And there's that little hook on the inside by Tszyu. On the inside, he's throwing that punch very, very well. That bodes well for him. Clash of heads there.
Which is going to happen with a southpaw and a right-hander. We approach the final 30 seconds of the opening round.
It's early in this fight, but Mitchell is allowing himself to be handled on the inside a little bit more than I think they would like by Tszyu. There's some blood from the bridge of the nose of Tszyu from the clash of heads. Wow.
Right off the bat in the first round, it just surfaced. Blood, bridge of Tszyu's nose as the heads came together. There's the bell for round 1. They'll attend to that cut. Let's see if it's going into the eye.
Sharmba Mitchell had his moments certainly in that first round, landing a good straight left hand as Tszyu came in kind of squared to him. And there you see Tszyu using the left hook, which he used effectively, and that's Mitchell with his head in position where it may have happened. Let's see the clash of heads. They come together, yeah, and really Tszyu created that as much as Mitchell did. So Tszyu got the worst of it, but he was stepping in, not intentionally, but it was his body weight coming forward that created that.
So an unintentional collision of the heads, and Tszyu has a cut open up on the bridge of the nose. Johnny Lewis, his trainer and cut man, jumped right on it.
Well, you hate to think of the irony that this fight also could play out where the scorecards would have to be gone to before the 12 rounds is over. We hope that won't be the case.
It looks like it's sort of on the eyebrow, bridge of the nose, but under control right now, but who knows?
You know, Sharmba Mitchell is making a choice, it strikes me, to fight on the inside a lot more than he has to in this big, giant ring where you know he wants to use his mobility. And he's not doing it as much as I think they would like.
A little bit surprising here at the outset that Sharmba Mitchell doesn't use his boxing skills, his movement, his side to side against the powerful Kostya. He just got rattled by a straight right hand, the signature punch of Kostya.
It's the punch he used to take Tszyu out, another lefty.
And again, he's got Mitchell in trouble on the ropes. Here in round two, Mitchell's down. Mitchell's disoriented. A long time to go. 1:38 left in the second. Can Sharmba Mitchell collect himself?
He just landed a nice straight left hand, but he needs to be moving around this ring.
We saw Mitchell's heart and determination in the first fight. We're going to have to see it here if this fight continues. Mitchell on wobbly legs.
Tszyu coming out so fast after a 22-month layoff, not missing a beat.
So it's Tszyu looking extremely sharp, opening up with his signature right hand, another right, and then a series of punches that put Mitchell into the ropes here in the second.
And you know, Sharmba Mitchell's using his jab to keep himself out of trouble. Very smart. He's doubling and tripling that jab, and it's just offsetting Kostya's attack enough, Steve, so that he can't quite get to him. Very smart effort by Mitchell.
And then Mitchell on the canvas for the third time in his career. It happened against Levander Johnson in '94 and Felix Flores in 2000. Under 10 seconds left in the second. And Mitchell with a left hook. Another left hand by Sharmba Mitchell.
Well, Tszyu getting in a nice short hook as well, and I think wobbled Mitchell right at the end of that round.
There you go. Make it up. Make it up. Why are you going around this man, huh? Why you stand right there in front of him? Why you trying to make Marco? Be smart. He can't find you when you're moving. He can't find you when you're moving. You can step around. He don't know where you are. Nothing. Yeah. You got to keep stepping around. Don't stand in front of him.
Tszyu against left-handers finds a way to get that straight right in. It's so compact and so good, and that one nailed Sharmba Mitchell. That's what started the trouble for Mitchell. And it's a punch he used to get Tszyu out, and it's been an effective punch here against Mitchell. There he put him in against the ropes, and follow up with the left hook, which he's been landing very effectively. So the left shoulder that was operated on, not effective. Now Mitchell did land a good straight left hand, but at the end of this round, there's the solid left hook from Tszyu that hurt Mitchell. That's a really important punch, that left hook.
And Mitchell with a welt forming over the right eye as we enter into round three. Mitchell with a lot more movement all of a sudden. After tasting the leather, another straight right hand upstairs by Tszyu. Another one, and down he goes again. A perfectly timed straight right hand to the head by Tszyu, and Mitchell's down for a second time in 2 rounds. Tszyu is looking for the finish. Jumping all over Mitchell.
Sharmba Mitchell needs every inch of this 22-foot ring right now, and he's backing himself into a corner. Bad place to be.
Stop!
Ring! Sharmba Mitchell, for some reason, just not fighting his kind of fight, the right kind of fight, and he got nailed again with a right hand over the top by Mitchell. No question he's game, but right now being overmatched by Tszyu.
What's interesting about this effort so far is that we have seen no signs of ring rust, and most of the people that saw Tszyu work out leading up to this fight said he was as sharp as attacked, and we can see that. And a big part of the strategy has been, he's not by nature a great left hook artist. He doesn't use that punch that much, but tonight he's worked it very effectively, even with the shoulder that was repaired by surgery.
The bruising, Tszyu testing the courage and chin of Sharmba Mitchell, who's been down 2 times in 2 rounds.
Give Mitchell credit, too. Down so early in this round, and still he's doing enough to hang in there.
Again, Sharmba Mitchell on very unsteady legs.
This has been such a sloppy effort so far for Mitchell. Not a disciplined, skilled boxing match like he anticipated showing us.
And of course, the complete antithesis by Tszyu, who sends Mitchell back with another hard right hand, and now digging to the body. Mitchell's ready to go again. Down for the 3rd time in the fight. He's got 21 seconds to go here in round 3, down 2 times in this 3rd round. Tszyu goes to work, and that's it. It's over. Here in the 3rd round, and Kostya prevails in the rematch. Just like that.
For Sharmba Mitchell, the supreme disappointment of his career, but a remarkable performance by Tszyu after a 22-month layoff. Normally not a quick starter to begin with. He comes in here and completely dominates through two rounds plus. It's really an extraordinary effort by him at age 35.
Unofficially 2:48 of round 3. The veteran Tszyu.
And you know, an interesting note, the press that voted on who they thought would win this fight, 44 picked Mitchell, 33 picked Tszyu. So this was not, Mitchell was not an opponent that a lot of people didn't have confidence in coming into this fight.
Well, a lot of good guys out there as possible future opponents for Tszyu. Ricky Hatton, of course, is a likely choice. Mayweather, Cotto, Vivian Harris.
Vivian Harris is here with his trainer, Manuel Stu. But right now, these fans, and you see some of the Russian fans, basking in the moment for Tszyu. Many doubters coming into this fight, but he really took away all doubts with this performance. We look at this, the knockdowns in this round, 2 knockdowns. The straight right hand, which had knocked Mitchell down earlier in the fight. Tszyu has a way of getting that in against lefties. It's not always possible with just a lead right, but Tszyu has a way of doing it. Did it against Zab Judah and has done it here tonight against Sharmba Mitchell. Then later in the round, he continued the onslaught. Again, the right hand was the primary weapon that sent Mitchell against the ropes. And then very, very good work here. That was a tremendous left hook to the body. And the economy of punches there. Very accurate, throwing only what he needed to. And that was just too much for Sharmba Mitchell. And Tszyu had really created some issues for him. And then finally, the coup de grace, as he uses again the straight right hand, works very effectively, and Sharmba Mitchell is down for the final time, and Tszyu has this very rewarding victory after a long layoff, 2 injuries, and many people suggesting he might be at the end of the road. Not so.
Some 3.5 years after winning the first fight, Tszyu takes the rematch, retains his IBF 140-pound belt. Although many still view him as the undisputed champion, finally after 2 postponements due to injuries, the case is closed. He does it in convincing fashion over Sharmba Mitchell. Tszyu upping his record to 31-1, 1 no decision, 25 knockouts. Mitchell falls to 55-4. His first loss since February 2001, Mitchell, when he first met Tszyu. Let's get it up to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have the time of 2 minutes, 48 seconds in round number 3. The winner by way of knockout, and still the IBF Junior Welterweight Champion of the World, Kostya.
So Tszyu over Sharmba Mitchell, unable to exact his revenge over the 35-year-old. Tszyu just comes in here and marches through Sharmba Mitchell without any problem whatsoever. The man who was born and raised near Siberia, learned to box in the rigorous Soviet system. His father worked in the factories, came to Australia after the '91 World Championships with his future wife, one suitcase and $1,000 in his pocket.
It's an extraordinary story, and he is now 14-1-1 in championship matches. He just doesn't know how to lose the big matches, really. And the one he lost to Vince Phillips, he rededicated himself to the sport after that, Steve, in terms of conditioning, and said, I had to become a better athlete after that. And since then, we've seen him, in terms of condition, much better.
That was his wake-up call. Let's get it up to Jim Gray. Jim?
All right, thank you very much, Steve. Kostya, congratulations to you. I guess a 2-year layoff is the way to go. Were you sharper than you thought you would be?
Look, it's only 3 rounds. It's not very hard. I mean, hard to say this. I'm sure it's a great performance. Great performance. First round was, as always, rushed. Accidental headbutt, a bit of scar.
Did that concern you when that happened?
Oh, look, it's nothing concern me. Look, we're in a tough business, and anything can happen in the face, in the hands, in anything. But doesn't matter.
What enabled you in the second round to pull the trigger on that right hand, because that basically turned the whole fight toward you?
I remember I told you before, I've got great advantage of some other boxers. I've got power in the hands. I never really expect to reach this in so early rounds with the right hand. With the left, yes, but not with the right. But it's worked out. I mean, we spent lots of time to work on this particular punch. It's worked out, as I said. As you know, history of fighting me left-handers, I'm fighting them very well, and that's the key for me because I know how to fight them.
Are you a better fighter tonight than you were in the past couple of years? I'm not talking about the time you took off, but when you were active.
I think I'm smarter, you know. When you've got time off, you can realize a bit different. You're watching the tapes, you're sitting and thinking. I'm thinking. I'm a thinker. I like to think. I like to look around different things, and it's worked out. I mean, I work a lot on this fight. It took me 2 years to get this fight on. It's been, imagine, three preparation I work on, I study, I write everything down on the paper, and it's worked out, as I said, well.
Do you now want to continue in this, or what do you do from here, and how do you evaluate this?
Remember, I said to you, I want big fights.
So where do you go?
If you guys show me the big fights, let's do the business again. If not, look, I have to consider something else. I have to come home first, enjoy myself. Even I've been 2 years off from the ring. It's preparation. It's 9 months from
I got the indication from you when I came to see you in training camp that you're enjoying spending time with your kids, and this fighting isn't exactly what you want to do for a whole lot longer.
Look, like a beautiful summer coming up in Sydney. It's a school holiday. I will have lots of time to spend with the kids, and it's giving me a smile on my face.
Before we look at the knockdowns, I want to ask you, how much did Sharmba before the fight annoy you in these 2 years with some of the statements that he had made that you had felt were derogatory?
It's a great thing that I had spoke with Sharmba right now, and we discuss, this is business, nothing personal, and that's what I respect. It's nothing personal. Look, I'm a different person. Sharmba is different. Everyone is different. Someone likes to talk, someone doesn't like to talk. I never like to talk. I never like to show, because what my father teach me in my life, that whatever you say, you have to stick with it. It's whatever you say, it's mean it. It's mean for me to say something. I don't like to disrespect people. We've got enough violence in life, and that's why I want this as a business, sport, great sport. That's it.
Let's take a look at what happened here when you got him in trouble here in round 2. Tell us what's going on right here, Kostya.
As far as I remember, it was 1-2 combination.
Boom. One
it's
right
the first
there.
punch. Yep. Probably second one. You see, taking my time. I know he's got him another one.
You were just lining him up.
I can say, look, after come back after these punches and fight again for nearly all the round. It's a great achievement. And I mean, you can take head off from Sharmba. I mean, he proved that while he was interim champion.
And now we go to the third round here. Did you know it was only a matter of time?
Oh, look, it's a perfect 1-2 combination. It's like in the book. I mean, it's perfect timing, and I never expect, as I said, never expect this timing come up in the early rounds. I thought it was going to be a bit later, but it eventually would be. But look.
And here's the end of the fight. Were you surprised he got up?
Oh, look. Of course, it's surprise. I mean, when you hit it so hard, it's not easy to recover. But again, a take off from Sharmba. He did a tremendous job to just fight back in the well.
Kostya, let's stick with us here for a second. We've got Sharmba Mitchell here, who's getting ready to leave the ring. Sharmba, as we look here at the final knockout here at the end of the fight, what was going through you right here? He seemed to catch you in the second round and you couldn't recover. Was that the case?
Yeah, he caught me with a real good punch, and then he came behind with some other punches, and I just couldn't get my head, but that's why I sat there for a minute and then got up. I was going to always fight. I'm a warrior just like he's a warrior, you know, and whether I get knocked down or, you know, knocked down, I'm going to get up. I'm going to get up and fight.
You had based, in a lot of ways, your career on this rematch and getting a second chance from the disappointment of a couple years ago with your knee. How disappointing is this tonight to be in this circumstance?
Things can happen. Anything can happen in boxing. It's just like when I said when I first came in the first time, you know, anything can happen in boxing. And one punch could change, you know, change a fight all the way around. I'm not disappointed, man. You know, I fought. You know, he caught me with good punches, and you know, I got up. And you know, I fought on. But he's a great champion. And, you know, this thing is a business. It's always been a business. And as much as I may talk and as much as we may go at each other with words, it's always a business. And I think he's a great businessman, and he gave me a second chance.
Kostya said that you had some words to him privately. Can you share with them publicly? Because you had been, at least in his mind, derogatory to him over the past couple of years.
Oh no, I told him, you know, this is a business. You know, he's a great champion, and it's never been personal. This is not, man. Look, boxing is not personal. It's just like Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali was all business, and it's about getting the business done. It's about getting the money and things of that nature, and fighting each other, and that's what we done. And he came out victorious. I was just, you know, it wasn't my night tonight. That's all.
Thank you for taking the time.
I shall move up. You know, I shall move up and go on. I'm able to, you know, fight another day.
We look forward to that. Feel better. Thank you.
All right.
Final thought. Vivian Harris, is that the name maybe you're looking at now?
I said any big names. Any big names.
Well, rattle them off for us. Who would you like it to be?
I don't care, guys. I don't care. If it's going to be big fights, look, I come back to the States.
Well, look who we got coming in here. Here's Manny Stewart.
You look so strong today.
Manny Stewart and Vivian Harris, if we can get Vivian in here. Okay. What do you think of this guy, Kostya? He's a big name. He's a WBA champion.
Yeah. Look, I've just seen only a couple fights of him, because never had chance really to see him. Look, I know he's a world champion. Look, it's great.
We'll have to get you some tapes.
Thank you.
What do you think about that, Vivian? It's something you'd obviously be interested in, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'm definitely interested in fighting Kostya. You know, he's a great champion, and you know, me performing a good fight tonight, and I definitely would like to get an opportunity to fight him.
Vivian, thank you for your time. Kostya, congratulations. It was a superb performance.
Thank you.
Let's go back to you, Steve.